Hello, I'm Sarah. I'm an aspiring author. I'm also a very big YA reader, big YA romance reader. And I've been talking a lot about my writing. Obviously, this is a writing channel, but I also love talking about books, of course. And today, I'm going to show you a couple of books that I love so much, that spoke to me, that spoke to my soul, that I wish I wrote them. I think all writers deal with writer jealousy to a certain degree. Some feel it more than others. I am the type to feel it very deeply, especially because I'm not published. So honestly, anytime I see anyone get published, I, of course, feel a pang of jealousy. I can't help it. But it's still important to me to support other writers, to support authors, no matter how jealous I feel. That's just something I have to fight on my own. And that's probably an entirely different conversation, different video that I could do. Anyway, let's get to talking about these books. So, spoiler, these are all going to be YA romance novels because that is what I write and what I hope to publish myself. This first one is called Throwback by Maureen Gu. I love Maureen Gu in general. This is her latest book. This is YA contemporary fantasy. It is about a Gen Z girl named Sam who travels back in time, very back to the future kind of time travel. She travels back to the 90s when her mother was in high school. And her mother, they do not get along. They are both Korean Americans, but they led very different lives. And they don't really understand each other until this experience. I love Back to the Future. I love 80s movies, 80s music, just that whole vibe. And it's just such a good book, especially I think she just gets that Korean American experience so well throughout the different generations. The way she writes the different mother-daughter relationships between the main character and her mother, the mother and the grandmother, it's just so good. And then there's also a romance, because of course there is, and of course she wrote that so well too, and just made me swoon so much. I just love it. I wish I wrote it. If you don't know me and the type of content I like to write, I would say this is the best example of what I strive to do. I want to write about the Korean American experience. I want to write really complicated child-parent relationships, really swoony romantic relationships. I want to have a lot of heart, a lot of humor, and a little magic. The next book is The Half-Life of Love by Brianna Bourne. She is a writer from the UK, so I don't know if she's that well known, but she should be. She writes absolutely magical romance novels. In this book, the characters live in a world where people know when they're going to die. There's this phenomenon when they've already lived half their life that I think they have some kind of seizure or something that tells them, oh, this is the point I've lived half my life. This is the amount of time I have left. So the main character, Flint, he experiences the half-life phenomenon when he's 8 years old. And so it means he's going to die when he's about 17. Flint, understandably, does not take this well. He shuts down and he wants to make his death as bearable as possible, as easy as possible, so he just doesn't want to enjoy life. He just wants to let death happen, and it's just really sad. And then he meets this girl named September, who has dealt with grief and dealt with the half-life phenomenon in her own way. They meet, they build a friendship, they fall in love, and all this half-life business just totally rocks their world. It's beautifully written. I wish I could write like this. She writes about having to grieve yourself, having to grieve loved ones, figuring out how to learn how to love life when you're dealing with these kinds of things. And the ending, y'all, the ending broke me. Brianna has another book coming out soon. I believe it's called Meet Me at Midnight. And it's been so frustrating because it's already released in the UK, but not in the US yet, and I've just been so desperate to get my hands on it. Next is Dungeons and Drama by Christy Boyce, a short and sweet YA romance with Dungeons and Dragons. The main character, Riley, ends up working in her dad's gaming shop, and she meets Nathan, and they get involved in a fake dating situation. I love the fake dating trope. And yeah, real feelings emerge. Before this, and before Stranger Things, I didn't really know anything about Dungeons and Dragons. I still don't know too much, but I have learned a lot from this and from her second Dungeons and Dragons book. And she has a third one coming out soon, which I absolutely can't wait for. But even though I didn't know anything about the game, and you don't have to know, it's just so fun and so cute. You get so into it, so into the role-playing. She describes the role-playing so well. It feels like you're actually there playing along with them. I don't know how else to explain this book other than it just makes me so happy. It makes me feel so good, so warm inside. It's the kind of happy comfort book that just makes you smile. It's the kind of comfort book that I would like to write. I would love to make readers feel this good. Now on to Stay With My Heart by Tashi Bouillon. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing that correctly. For those who don't know, I was a big One Direction fan when I was younger. I was just a big fan of boy bands, girl bands in general. I still am. Little secret, my channel used to be a One Direction channel. I still have some videos, some of my own One Direction fanfiction up. Watch if you dare. I just keep them up, honestly, for memories. But yeah, I'm always scared when people find those. Anyway, I think this is the One Direction fanfiction I've been waiting for. But it's not One Direction fanfiction. That's just what it is to me. This follows a girl named Liana. Her father works in the music industry. She meets this band, this kind of rockish band, who's trying to get out there, trying to get a record deal, and she accidentally ruins their chances. So she does everything she can to make it up to them. They become friends. She falls for one of them, and yeah, you can probably see why I love this. Tashi's characters are great. They're so lovable. I love the friendship within the band and with her, how they take her in. And we also see themes of grief and depression, mental health. It has everything, really. Everything I would want as a One Direction fan, a music fan, and just a romance fan. The next book is a coming-of-age romance called Midnights with You by Claire Asonko. She is a biracial Filipino-American writer, and her character, I believe, is also half Filipina. And her character has a very rough home life. Her mother is emotionally abusive, so she deals with that. And then this boy moves in next door, or across the street, I believe. He also has family issues. They meet, they bond. He teaches her how to drive. teaches her how to drive at night, and so they spend their midnights together. This story hit very close to home when it comes to self-image, when it comes to being biracial, multiracial, and dealing with people being like, what are you? Like, where are you from? The way you look, how you may not look completely Asian or completely American. It just hit really hard. That, along with the home stuff, it is a tough read. It's pretty depressing, but for me, it was a vital read. I'm so glad I read it. I, of course, wish I wrote it. I think it just really got this kind of experience, what feels like my kind of experience, right. And last but not least, this is the most recent release on this list. I Am Not Jessica Chen by Anne Liang. Anne Liang has become one of my favorite YA romance authors. She is an auto-buy author for me. And yeah, I'll admit it, I'm pretty jealous of Anne. Mostly because she got published at a young age and she's just been whipping out like 2 books a year. It's pretty crazy, but amazing, of course. It's also funny because this book actually deals with jealousy, about wanting someone else's life so badly that magic comes into play. This character, Jenna Chen, she envies her cousin so much. She gets the good grades, she gets all the praise, that she makes a wish, and she actually does end up in her cousin's body and lives her life. So while I'm over here being envious of Anne Liang's accomplishments, she's conveying exactly how I feel with this character of being so jealous of someone. You just want to be them so badly. Well played, Anne. Well played. If you're interested in hearing more of my thoughts from these books, most of them I did write reviews on my website, and those same reviews are also on my Goodreads, so check those out if you want to. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you love any of these books, and also let me know if there are any books you wish that you wrote. And yes, I do wish I wrote all of these books, but at the same time, I don't think anyone could have written these books except these authors. They are their stories. Only they could write it. And for me, only I can write my story. Only you can write your story. So my next few videos will be writing vlogs, so I will catch you guys then. Bye-bye.